welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to have a look at how to tackle open-ended questions. You'll find two open-ended questions in your exam. You'll be able to recognise them by the term using your knowledge of chemistry, which will be at the end of the question. They're each worth 3 marks. For these, there's no one expected answer, so if you're looking at past papers, you won't be able to find an answer in the answer scheme. This is all about a chance for you to show off what you know and what you understand about the topic. The mark scheme looks like this. 1 mark for limited understanding. This means that you've made some statements that are relevant, showing some of the chemistry is understood. 2 marks means you have a reasonable understanding, so you've made relevant statements that show the whole context of the question is understood. And 3 marks means a good understanding, so you've given a logically correct answer to the question itself, but it doesn't need to be excellent and it doesn't need to be complete. So some tips on how to tackle these. So the first thing you want to do is identify which unit it's in and which topic it's looking at, and then that way you'll be able to narrow down what information you can include. The question itself is about chemistry, so try and include diagrams, formulae, structures, calculations, equations, anything that is related to the chemistry. You can write it out in full sentences and paragraphs, or you can use bullet points. And you could go into a lot of detail in one area, or you could write a little bit about lots of different things. To get the 3 marks, you need to actually answer the question. So there will be a part where it gives you a question, not just write everything that you know about the topic. The question is 3 marks, so this means it shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to answer it. If you are struggling, then leave it and come back. Another thing you can do is try and find them at the start of your exam so you can see what the topics are, and you can just kind of have that going over in your brain whilst you're doing the rest of your exam, and you can just maybe write some notes at the end of the paper where there's the blank parts, and you can go back and form an answer at the end. So let's have a look at an example here. Fertilizers are substances which restore the elements essential for healthy plant growth to the soil. Using your knowledge of chemistry, describe the chemistry of fertilizers. So this is a Unit 3 question in the topic of fertilizers. So this one, it really is quite open, so just using your knowledge of chemistry, describe the chemistry of fertilizers. The place you would probably want to start would be the 3 elements, so nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, and that they must be soluble. From there, you could have a look at talking about neutralization reactions, as these are the way that we can make fertilizers. You may also want to talk about the Haber process, as this produces ammonia, and you could also talk about the Oswald process, which produces nitric acid. You could then show an equation, so you could have ammonia and nitric acid to show that making ammonium nitrate, which is a really good fertilizer, and it contains nitrogen and it's soluble. You could show other equations. So for the neutralization part, you definitely want to show some equations which show fertilizers being made. So you're looking at nitrates and phosphates for that. For the Haber process, you could mention that you've got an iron catalyst. For the Oswald process, you could mention that you've got a platinum catalyst. So you can go about and you can talk about a lot of different things here within this topic, and make sure you put in some equations to show your understanding of the chemistry involved. Pause the video now and try to come up with an answer for this question. The reactivity series lists metals in order of reactivity. Using your knowledge of chemistry, suggest experiments that a student could carry out to place calcium, copper, tin and zinc into a reactivity series. So the first thing you could do here is to actually put these 4 metals into order to show that you understand what order it would be. So the order would be calcium, zinc, tin and copper. So from there you can have a look at what reactions we could do. So you could react with oxygen, So for your reactions with oxygen, if you were to burn any of these, they would all react with oxygen. Calcium reacting the quickest, you could react with water and only calcium is going to react. So you would have calcium plus water to give you calcium hydroxide and hydrogen, and you could show the balanced equation. And you could also put in react with acid. Okay, and there you're going to have everything from copper upwards is going to react. You could put in what might happen if you were to react something with acid. So for example, if we were to take zinc and hydrochloric acid, then you would get zinc chloride and hydrogen being produced. You could talk about how when you react things with acid, the speed of the gas produced would indicate the reactivity. So for that, you could also show how you might measure that. So you would have your measuring cylinder. You can have a boiling tube with some acid and your metal inside it. Put a wee stopper on the top. Right, this whole tub would be in water. And you can time how long it takes for a certain volume of gas to be produced. Pause the video now and try to find an answer for this question. A student is given 3 different compounds containing carbon. Using your knowledge of chemistry, describe how the student could identify the compounds. So here we could have a look at the different homologous series that you've looked at so far. So first up would be the alkanes. So you know that these are saturated, so they do not decolorize bromine water. You also know that they undergo combustion reactions, and they will give off carbon dioxide and water. Carbon dioxide you can test with lime water, where it'll go cloudy. The next family that you would have looked at would be the alkenes. So these are unsaturated, okay, and they do decolorize bromine water. So that would be an immediate test you could do on a compound and you would be able to say that's unsaturated. Another family you've looked at would be the cycloalkanes. Okay, now their properties are very similar to the alkanes, so a way that you could tell them apart, you could look at boiling points or melting points. Other carbon families you've looked at are the alcohols. Okay, and again, they undergo combustion reactions. You could measure the energy released when you burn them. You'll also find that small alcohols are soluble, whereas for the alkanes they would not be. And they'll have different melting and boiling points. And then the last family that you looked at are the carboxylic acids. And a really easy test for them would be a pH test, because their pH will be less than 7. Pause the video now and try to find an answer to this question. The element strontium was discovered in 1790 in the village of Strontium in Scotland. Using your knowledge of chemistry, comment on the chemistry of strontium. So strontium is in group 2. This means it will have 2 outer electrons. It's a metal, so it will have metallic bonding, which you could define. It means that it will conduct electricity. And if you look at other elements in group 2, such as calcium and magnesium, they both react with acid, so should be fairly reactive. Another thing you could look at is that metals, when you do flame tests, have colour. So there is potential that this would have a colour if you were to put it in a flame test as well. If you look at the patterns going down the groups in terms of melting points and boiling points, so melting point will be higher than those above it in the group. Thank you for watching my video. I hope that you found it helpful. Please remember to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram, Miss Adams Chemistry, and TikTok, Miss Adams Chem, for short videos and flashcards. Bye for now.